Whether you're a tech enthusiast, industry professional, or just curious about the future of AI Agents Unleashed will keep you informed and inspired. Buckle up and get ready to unleash the potential of AI.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be diving into some predictions about enterprise technology in 2025.
Okay.
We've got a recent TechCrunch article that's got insights from 20 different venture capitalists.
Okay. Sounds good.
Our mission today is to distill all those different perspectives and give you the key takeaways,
Awesome.
no matter how deep your interest in enterprise tech runs.
Yeah, one thing that I found really interesting from this article is that even with all this hype around AI,
Yeah.
enterprises haven't really been quick to adopt it.
Yeah, it's true. You would think, with all this potential, that everyone would be jumping on board.
Right.
But will 2025 be the year that changes?
Yeah, I mean, some VCs were already predicting a surge in adoption back in 2024.
Yeah, and it didn't quite happen.
It didn't quite happen.
Why do you think that is?
Well, budget constraints definitely seem to be a major factor.
Okay.
It's, AI can feel like kind of a risky investment.
Yeah.
Especially when everyone's tightening their belts a little bit. And plus there's also a feeling that maybe we're still waiting for those AI tools that can tackle very specific business needs.
Right.
As opposed to just being a shiny new toy.
So are these VCs saying that better data is that missing link?
Yeah.
Because we all know bad data in means bad data out.
Precisely, garbage in, garbage out.
Yep.
And some of these VCs believe that the real AI revolution will happen when we have very task-specific models
Okay.
trained on high-quality data that's relevant to those very specific business functions.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so AI adoption is still a bit of a question mark.
Oh.
But what about enterprise tech budgets in general?
Uh-huh.
Any insights on whether those will grow or shrink in 2025?
Yeah, so it seems like the VCs have a few differing opinions on that.
Okay.
Some of them are thinking that we'll only see modest increases.
Okay.
And those will really only be for solutions that have a clear, demonstrable return on investment.
Okay, so you're really going to have to prove the value in this climate.
Exactly. Prove the value.
Yeah.
It's all about, being very careful with where that money's going.
So no more just throwing money at the latest trends just because they're trendy.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Okay.
Others are a bit more optimistic,
Okay.
suggesting that we might see budgets loosen up a bit in the second half of the year if the economy starts to improve.
Okay.
So there could be some pent-up demand there
Interesting.
waiting to be unleashed.
So a mix of caution and optimism, it seems.
Right.
But hold on. One of our sources, Battery Ventures, they polled 100 CXOs.
Okay.
These CXOs manage over $35 billion in annual tech spending.
Wow.
And a full 74% of them are planning to increase their tech budgets in 2025.
Wow. That's a pretty compelling data point.
It really is.
It definitely seems to suggest a more positive outlook.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't be so quick to write off those optimistic predictions.
Right. It seems like there's reason to be hopeful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to some of the specific trends that these VCs are watching.
Yeah.
What are some of the hot areas that they're highlighting?
So one that really jumps out is the rise of AI agents and automation.
Okay.
For example, Aaron Jacobson from NEA,
Okay.
he predicts big growth in AI-powered code agents.
AI code agents. Now, what exactly are those?
Yeah.
How do they fit into the landscape?
So essentially, they're AI tools that can help with modernizing applications.
I
Maybe moving those old clunky mainframe apps to the cloud.
Right.
And even, upgrading outdated code bases.
So AI is actually stepping in to help code.
Exactly.
That sounds like a real game changer.
Yeah, it has that potential.
Yeah.
And then we have Ed Sim from Bold Start Ventures,
Okay.
who is thinking even bigger.
Okay.
He envisions a future where we each have dozens, maybe even hundreds of AI agents working for us.
Hundreds of AI agents at our command.
Yeah.
Sounds like a little bit of science fiction.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But think about the possibilities. We could have AI handling all sorts of tasks,
Yeah.
from scheduling meetings to, managing our inboxes,
Yeah.
to conducting research, even generating creative content.
That is a whole new world of productivity and efficiency.
It is.
But wouldn't that also require a massive overhaul of our current infrastructure?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
This level of AI integration would really demand a robust infrastructure to support, all these digital assistants,
Right.
security protocols, access control management platforms.
Yeah.
It's a whole new frontier of technological challenges and opportunities.
It's mind-boggling to even think about.
It is.
So AI agents and automation are a clear focus, but what other trends are on the VC radar?
So enterprise resilience and cybersecurity are huge.
Okay.
With all the high-profile cyber attacks that we've seen recently,
Right.
it's no surprise that VCs are emphasizing the need to build resilience against both, operational failures as well as those malicious threats.
So it's not just about preventing the attacks, but also having systems in place to bounce back quickly if something does go wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that seems crucial.
Yeah, and it's interesting how they connect seemingly disparate events,
Yeah.
Liren Grinberg from Team 8 brought up the CrowdStrike software update incident.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
You remember that caused major disruption for a ton of companies.
That really highlighted how even a routine software update can go sideways.
Exactly, and have
Yeah.
huge impact,
Yeah.
and it really underscores the importance of having those robust cybersecurity practices and systems that can adapt and recover very quickly.
Right, so you can't just rely on everything going right all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of cybersecurity, Aaron Jacobson from NEA
Okay.
made a really interesting point.
Okay.
He said that while everyone's talking about securing AI itself,
Okay.
that the real opportunity lies in helping enterprises implement basic cybersecurity best practices at scale.
So going back to the fundamentals, but making sure that the fundamentals are rock solid.
Exactly. Cybersecurity 101, but done right across the entire organization.
Okay, so what kind of cybersecurity 101 practices is he talking about?
So he mentioned things like enforcing least privilege access,
Okay.
making sure people only have access to the data they absolutely need to do their jobs.
Right.
He also talked about maintaining a secure data posture.
Yeah.
That's, all about protecting sensitive data from unauthorized access.
Yeah.
And, of course, ransomware prevention.
So data sovereignty is another trend. I feel like it's getting traction.
Yeah, you're right. Jonathan Lair from Workbench
Okay.
predicts big growth in data sovereignty as a service.
Okay.
So, companies are popping up to help businesses manage their data in a way that complies with all the relevant regulations
Yeah.
in different countries.
So staying on the right side of the law when it comes to data.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. What about vertical AI? What is that all about?
Yeah, so Jonathan Lair is particularly excited about vertical AI.
Okay.
So this refers to AI solutions that are custom built for the needs of specific industries. So instead of having this generic AI, you have an AI that speaks the language of healthcare,
Okay.
finance, manufacturing, you name it.
So you're basically creating AI specialists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about making AI work smarter by focusing it on solving very specific challenges
Yep.
within a particular industry.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it seems like this focus on specialized solutions is part of a broader trend in enterprise tech investments.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Mike Hayes from Insight Partners points out that, enterprise tech is no longer just about boosting revenue or cutting costs.
Right.
It's evolving to focus on driving enterprise value and reducing business friction.
Okay, so give me an example of what that looks like in practice.
Yeah, so imagine, solutions that address the unique pain points of a specific industry.
Okay.
Maybe even a particular role within a company.
Okay.
It's about making things more efficient, creating smoother workflows, and ultimately delivering a more valuable experience for everyone involved.
So it's not just about abstract metrics anymore. It's about solving real problems and creating tangible value.
Exactly.
That's a shift I can get behind, for sure.
Absolutely. And this new focus is making traditionally venture-averse sectors like accounting and legal services
Okay.
more appealing to investors.
Interesting.
Molly Alter from North Zone pointed this out,
Okay.
highlighting how AI is automating much of the behind-the-scenes work in these industries.
So it's making them more scalable and potentially more profitable.
Exactly.
Attracting investors who might not have considered them before.
And finally, Molly Alter is also very excited about companies that are tackling the public sector.
Yes.
Public sector. So you mean like government agencies and things like that?
Exactly.
Okay.
She mentioned that there are significant federal agency contracts up for grabs
Okay.
and a big push for tech adoption and modernization within government.
So a huge potential market.
It is.
for those companies who are willing to take it on.
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like there are so many different forces at play here. Yeah.
In the world of enterprise tech in 2025,
Uh-huh.
a very complex and rapidly evolving landscape.
It is.
But with all this change and innovation, what will it take for companies to actually thrive?
Yeah.
What's going to separate the winners from, well, everyone else?
Well, that's the question that we'll be exploring next.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find the VC's perspectives on this particularly insightful.
All right, well, let's get into that.
So what separates the winners from everyone else in this evolving landscape? You know, in the age of AI, it all comes down to building a moat
A moat, like a medieval castle.
with alligator.
Exactly. Think of it as that protective barrier.
Yeah.
It sets a company apart from the competition, and VCs are laser focused on identifying, which AI companies have that kind of defensibility.
I love that analogy. Okay, so what are the VCs looking for? Specifically, what are the signs of a strong moat in the AI world?
So Kathy Gao from Sapphire Ventures
Okay.
has a really interesting framework.
Okay.
She calls it the 5Ds.
Design, data, domain, expertise, distribution, and dynamism.
5Ds catchy. Break that down for me. What does each D represent?
Okay, so design means having a well-thought-out user experience,
Okay.
a product that truly solves a problem and does it elegantly.
Right.
Data is all about access to high-quality proprietary data.
Right. Because like we said, good data in, good data out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That gives an AI a competitive edge.
Okay.
Then there's domain expertise, which boils down to having a deep understanding of the specific industry or market the company is serving.
Yep.
Distribution refers to getting that product into the hands of customers in a smart and effective way.
Right.
And finally, dynamism.
Okay.
That's the company's ability to adapt and evolve as the market inevitably changes.
So it's a holistic view.
Yes.
It's not just about having a cool AI product. It's about the whole package.
Exactly.
Smart design,
Yes.
unique data industry, knowledge-effective distribution, and the ability to stay ahead of the curve.
You got it. And to emphasize that point, a couple other VCs really hammered home the importance of proprietary data and verticalization as key moats.
Okay.
SC Malati from ID Capital and Scott Bichuk from Norwest Venture Partners.
Yeah.
Both believe that companies with unique data sets tailored to specific industries are going to have a significant advantage.
So it's not just about the quantity of data. It's about having the right data.
Exactly.
Yeah, data that's relevant and focused.
Yes.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about funding.
Okay.
Specifically, what will it take for an enterprise startup to secure that coveted Series A funding in 2025?
Yeah, the fundraising game.
Yeah, what insights do our VCs have about this?
Well, one thing is clear, the growth at all costs mentality of the past is officially over.
Okay.
Molly Alter from North Zone points out that in 2025, VCs are going to be looking for companies that demonstrate strong top-line traction,
Okay.
meaning revenue growth,
Right.
coupled with low burn multiples.
So they want to see companies growing revenue quickly but doing it efficiently
Exactly.
without burning through a ton of cash.
Exactly. The focus is shifting towards a balance of growth and profitability.
That makes sense. The investors are looking for companies that are built to last, not just to make a quick splash.
Right.
Are there any specific metrics or figures that the VCs are mentioning? Like what kind of numbers do startups need to hit to be attractive in 2025?
Yeah, so several of them did offer some specific benchmarks.
Okay.
Molly Alter mentioned that companies aiming for a Series A in 2025
Yeah.
will likely need to show impressive year-over-year growth, exceeding 100%.
Wow, so significant revenue growth is definitely non-negotiable.
Yeah, and Jonathan Lehrer from Workbench added that the bar for many downstream investors is around $1.5 million in ARR, with the expectation that the company can triple that number sequentially.
So those are some pretty high bars to clear.
Yeah, they are.
But it's not just about the numbers, right?
Right.
What about the companies themselves?
Yeah.
What qualities are VCs looking for in the teams and products?
Yeah, so a strong team is always a top priority.
For sure.
Investors want to see experienced founders with a proven track record
Yeah.
and a deep understanding of the market they're targeting.
Right.
And when it comes to the product differentiation is key.
Right, because we're moving away from those generic Me Too products.
Right.
To stand out in 2025, startups need to offer something truly unique and valuable, something that solves a real problem in a way that no one else is doing.
That's exactly right. And Andrew Ferdison from Databricks Ventures made an interesting point about AI-first products.
Okay.
He believes that while initial traction, say, $2 to $5 million in ARR, might be enough to secure a Series A, the expectations for a Series B will be much higher.
So early-stage AI startups might get some initial funding based on their potential and early promise.
Right.
But to secure those larger follow-on rounds, they'll need to demonstrate that their initial success is sustainable.
Exactly.
And that they have a clear path to even greater growth.
Precisely, investors will be watching closely to see if that early revenue is truly high quality.
Okay.
And if the company has the potential to become a category leader.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from AI adoption and cybersecurity trends to the evolving dynamics of fundraising.
Yeah.
But let's zoom out for a moment and talk about the bigger picture.
Okay.
What does the exit environment look like in 2025?
Yeah.
Will we see more M&A activity and IPOs?
That's the question on everyone's mind, right?
It is.
And as you might expect, the VCs we've been following have a range of predictions.
Okay.
Some are feeling optimistic about an uptick in both M&A and IPO activity,
Okay.
while others are taking a more cautious approach.
Okay, let's dive into those predictions. Who's saying what?
So Kathy Gao from Sapphire Ventures predicts an increase in M&A activity
Okay.
as large companies look to acquire AI expertise.
So big companies are looking to buy their way into the AI game.
It's exactly.
Brilliant.
Snapping up innovative startups to gain a competitive edge.
What about the IPO market? Is there any sign of that opening up in 2025?
So Kathy thinks the IPO market will remain cautious.
Okay.
But she does believe that high-growth, profitable companies might test the waters.
Okay.
And Nina Achajian from Index Ventures shares that sentiment,
Right.
anticipating more liquidity in 2025 for both M&As and public offerings.
So a potential window of opportunity for
Right.
those companies that can demonstrate strong performance and a clear path to profitability.
Right.
But you mentioned not everyone is quite as bullish on M&A. What are the skeptics saying?
Yeah, so Merrill Evans from Exceptional Capital, for example, expects exits to pick up slightly next year,
Okay.
but maybe not as dramatically as some might hope,
Okay.
especially in light of the latest Fed meeting.
So a bit of a tempered outlook.
Right.
And speaking of M&A earlier, you mentioned Aaron Jacobson from NEA.
Yes.
He mentioned the potential for some mega M&A deals.
Yes. He believes the change in administration will actually lead to a resurgence of those massive acquisitions.
Oh.
He even went so far as to predict a multi-billion-dollar,
Wow.
maybe even decacorn,
Wow, a decacorn acquisition.
M&A outcome for a leading AI company.
That would be a major shakeup in the AI landscape.
It would.
And speaking of shakeups, Kirby Winfield from Ascend has an interesting prediction about the impact of the new FTC leadership.
Yes.
He thinks it's going to make it easier for hyperscalers,
Okay.
the tech giants,
Yeah.
to acquire companies. And not just for their technology, but also for their talent.
Right.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So potentially a more acquisition-friendly environment in 2025,
Yeah.
which could be good news for startups looking for an exit,
Right.
but maybe not such good news for those who are concerned about the growing power of the tech giants.
It's a complex landscape for sure, with a lot of competing forces at play.
Yeah, for sure. But let's shift our focus back to those companies that are looking to go public.
Okay.
Any predictions for them in 2025?
Yeah, so Andrew Ferguson from Databricks Ventures suggests that 2025 might finally be the year that we see a real uptick in tech M&A activity.
Interesting. Why does he think that?
So he attributes it to a few factors. He thinks the macro environment will be more favorable and that there might be less stringent regulatory oversight, which could make larger companies more open to acquisitions.
So a confluence of factors that could make M&A a more attractive option.
Exactly.
For both buyers and sellers.
And he also made an interesting point about the focus of these potential acquisitions.
Yes.
He believes that most strategic M&A will be about acquiring amazing technical founders and their cutting-edge technology, rather than more established businesses that might have matured, during the era of zero interest rates.
Right.
Those companies might not have the same growth and profitability metrics that are so appealing to acquirers in today's environment.
Right.
So a shift from acquiring established players to scooping up those up-and-coming innovators with the next big thing. Precisely.
And as for IPOs, Paul Drews from Salesforce Ventures offered a glimmer of hope.
Okay.
He acknowledges that there's still some hesitation around the IPO process from a private company perspective.
Right.
But he pointed out that the public markets are doing well, which could be a positive sign for those companies considering going public.
Right.
So a potential window of opportunity. But companies will need to carefully weigh their options
Yes.
and make sure their valuations align with the expectations of the public markets.
Exactly. And finally, Mike Hayes from Insight Partners offered his perspective, suggesting that companies that are focused on mission-critical solutions,
Okay.
those with predictable revenue streams,
Yeah.
will have the best chance of success in the IPO market in 2025.
Okay.
Overall, he's optimistic about the year ahead, seeing lots of potential for growth and innovation in the enterprise tech space.
That's definitely encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot happening in the enterprise tech world in 2025, from AI adoption and cybersecurity to funding trends and exit strategies.
Yeah.
It's a complex and rapidly evolving environment,
Yeah.
but one that is clearly full of opportunity.
Absolutely. And as we've seen from the insights of these 20 VCs, those who can adapt, innovate, and build a sustainable competitive advantage
Yeah.
will be the ones who thrive in this exciting new era.
We've covered so much in this deep dive into the future of enterprise tech,
We really have.
from AI and cybersecurity to funding and exit strategies. It seems like 2025 is shaping up to be quite the year.
It does. And, one thing that really sticks out to me is this shift towards specialization and targeted solutions.
Yeah.
We're moving away from that one-size-fits-all approach to technology and really embracing solutions that are tailor-made for, specific industries, specific roles, even individual needs.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's about making technology work smarter, not harder.
Right.
Really focusing it laser-like on those problems that matter most.
Exactly. And as we've seen, this shift is creating exciting new opportunities for startups and investors alike.
Yeah, for sure.
The companies that can truly understand and address, those niche needs
Yeah.
are going to be the ones that stand out and succeed.
Makes me wonder, what strategic moves should businesses in listeners' industry area of interest be considering to stay ahead of the curve in 2025?
That's the million-dollar question, and I think, each business leader will need to answer that based on their own specific circumstances.
Right.
But I think, the key takeaway here is that simply adopting AI for the sake of it isn't enough.
Right.
It's about understanding how AI can be leveraged to solve the unique challenges they face,
Yeah.
to improve efficiency, and to create tangible value within their industry.
So it's not just about jumping on the AI bandwagon. It's about being strategic,
Exactly.
thoughtful, really digging into how this technology can be applied to address their specific needs and goals.
Absolutely. And I think it's also crucial to consider that evolving relationship between AI and cybersecurity.
Yep.
As AI becomes more integrated into those mission-critical systems, security and resilience become even more paramount.
AI can be an incredibly powerful tool, but it also introduces new vulnerabilities
It does.
that businesses need to be prepared to address.
Right. And that preparedness really starts with understanding those vulnerabilities and having the right systems and strategies in place to mitigate them.
For sure. Well, this has been an incredible journey
It has.
through the world of enterprise tech.
Yes.
We've explored the trends, the challenges, and the opportunities that lie ahead in 2025.
A lot to be excited about.
A lot to be excited about. So for our listeners,
Yes.
I hope this deep dive has given you a clearer picture of what to expect in the coming year and some food for thought as you navigate the ever-evolving landscape of enterprise technology.
It really has been a fascinating conversation.
It has, so until next time,
Yes.
keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with technology.
Couldn't agree more.